All right, guys. So we got a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 10. Scott, are you going Kyren Williams or Jonathan Taylor? Go ahead, man.
Man, never thought you'd be here, but we had this conversation in the Discord the other day on the Monday Morning Drive about Kyren Williams. And, you know, at some point you have to kind of forget where a player started and acknowledge where they're at right now. And even if, and I think everyone agreed that Kyren Williams will have competition, but what running back doesn't? Jonathan Taylor has competition. Right. So if you're ignoring that and you're ignoring the old saying about he's too small, he's not athletic enough, he's a damn good receiver, they basically trust him to do anything. We've seen him have 90% or more snaps. We've seen him have 25 plus touches. The Rams love him. Why wouldn't this continue into next year? And with the current running back market, is it worth giving up Jonathan Taylor for a month of Kyren Williams that could help you win the title? I would do it.
Yep.
Because he probably steps right into a role next year where I'm expecting at least RB2 numbers. And then after next year, are you even caring about running back that far out? No. So nope. I'd be willing to do it. And that's crazy.
So Shane, where are you at on this one? Because you just traded for Kyren Williams in the Squirt League. You gave up what's the 109 right now.
The 109, it was the 110 at the time. So it's appreciated in value. But I would get JT and his dislocated, disrepaired, discombobulated thumb off my roster and go get me some Kyren. It's a running back, right? So I'm betting on production now either way. So if Jonathan Taylor can't give me production now, what good is he doing me? What good are you doing me, John? You're not doing me any favors. And also, you've only had one game where you even smashed anyway. But that's besides the point, I guess. But no, yeah, I'd 100% smash Kyren Williams, and I had to make a move for Kyren Williams, and we'll get to that. And there's a chat that I starred to get into why I needed to get Kyren Williams on that roster.
So cross positionally, how can we work that in? So Kyren or Debo?
Kyren.
Oh, Kyren.
I think you look at Ayuk.
You look at that. I think that's the range of like the wide receiver twos. If you want to get somebody that has a value pivot. Now you're probably not going to be able to get that, but I'd be focusing on DK, Ayuk, Pittman, DJ Moore, all of those guys in that range. Kyren Williams is better than James Cook and what Rashad White were coming into the year. That's what they are. They are limited skill set running backs, but they have a role that is basically maxed out as to what you could expect. But you have to respect the fact that they can do everything. I mean, what can Kyren Williams not do? They trust him in pass protection. They trust him to catch the ball. They trust him at the goal. They trust him in every role. And it's honestly one of those offense. One of the biggest takeaways I'm going to have from this year is when it comes to running backs. I'm working on my roster construction series right now on DD. With running backs, it used to be any running back on a 53. Now I think we need to be a little more selective with what rosters we roster any running back on, because there's been some teams this year where you've popped up with opportunity and you go, I don't want them. I don't care what their workload could be. Like this year, I don't want any Giants running back that's not Saquon Barkley. I don't care if he's injured and they project this guy to get all the work. I don't want him. But I think the Rams are one of those where just give me anybody on their backfield. And it seems like Kyren's got a role locked down for at least 50% of the work, if not more.
We're going to have to come up with a new saying. It's not any RB on a 53. It's like any RB on a on a 53 with a good offense or something like that. We could probably do better.
It's very catchy.
Let me just clarify. It's not that I'm not going to roster them, because we're not going to know who the situations are that you're going to want or not want probably until the season starts. But then you get a month into the season and you go, I don't want anybody from that backfield. I don't care who it is. I don't care because the offense is so bad or the way that they're playing. So I still think you have to go any running back on a 53 until you start to get some clarity. And then what I've done is started to drop a lot of those running backs now. Going, why am I holding a backup Bengals running back? What's the point?
Yeah,
I don't care if they're on a 53 or not. There's no point.
Like, who's the second one? Is it Chris Evans or Travion Williams?
Chris Evans was out. Who is it? So it was probably
Travion Williams. The way they're talking, it's going to be Chase Brown. And you know how many snaps he played the other day? 0. They activated him off IR, and they only ran the ball 8 times. And Chase Brown, maybe you get a look at Chase Brown for the future, right? Now, 0 snaps. So you just don't want anybody there.
So once again, I mean, Tank Dell, he's hitting the screen. He's involved in content creation. And let's talk about Nico too. But where does Tank Dell rank in terms of draft capital? Asks Luke Spellman. So Tank Dell or Kyren Williams?
Tank Dell. People like Tank Dell.
I will slightly lead Tankosaurus Dell.
Tank Dell or Nico? Where are you guys at on this? I don't know if I've ever asked you straight up that.
That's for Shane. He's done the math, and I know where I'm at, but I'm curious to what he says. I think it's pretty clear to me.
I'm taking Nico. I mean, and it could be recency bias because Nico just came out and smashed yesterday or Sunday, and Tank had a little baby game, disappeared after the first half. Whichever one's cheaper, and it's probably Nico by a significant margin. Last I looked on KTC, it wasn't even close. They were separated by like 6 in wide receivers. And their production is going to be similar. They're not going to get there the same way, but their production is going to be similar. So I'll just take the cheaper guy, even though Tank has the more fun name and he's got more of a resale value. I'll take Nico.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like the big X versus, little Tank Dell. It's completely different in terms of size. Let's go to Sean here. He said he asked in the Discord, thank you for being a patron, but wants your opinions. 12-team 1 QB start 9 with IDP. Trade my 24 and 25 first for CMC. Has Saquon, Javonte, Moss, Cans at running back. JJ, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Ayuk, Garrett Wilson at wide receiver, would still have 125 and 126 first left. Currently 4th place, 3rd in points for. What do you think here, Scott? Your current RBs are Saquon, Javonte, Moss, and Cans. Are you trading a 24 and a 25 first for CMC?
Yeah, I mean, the IDP probably doesn't matter. I assume there's more starters than 9 if we're counting IDP. He just didn't list them. So still in a 1 QB, I mean, what are you risking with those first? Now, in 3 weeks, you may go, damn, I didn't win the title. And can I get anything for Christian McCaffrey? And the answer is probably not 2 first, but that's okay. That's part of what you're taking on if you buy him. So, yeah, this is one of those where if it's super flex, now super flex start 9, I'm still probably taking McCaffrey, especially if you have some control over those picks. But in 1 QB, yeah, pretty easily taking McCaffrey. The shot on what he can give you in war, even if, let's just play this out a little bit with McCaffrey for the rest of his career. Let's say he plays 3 more years, okay? Retires by the time he's 30, 31. Even if he's injured 40% of the time and he slows down to where his workload's reduced 20%, you're still looking at getting
still
Kyren Williams
monster.
production. You're literally looking at you like what Rashad White or Jalen Warren have given you. That's what you're going to get from him, even when it's 70% of what he's done. So I think he's actually more than just a win now. It's more of a win over a 2-year window piece. Because even if he falls back, which he's inevitably going to, it's still probably a decent investment. So yes, easily.
Yeah. When I think about him, I think of Tyreek in the opposite position. They're just going to hammer it for a couple of years until they call it quits. Okay, let's go to this super chat. We've already got 250 folks in here. Hello, Jerome Simard, and this is Canadian. Shane, thank you for the super chat. 10-team super flex, half PPR, start 10, rebuilding. Have Hurts, Herbert, Justin Jefferson, Ayuk, T, and Pitts. Likely the 102. Give Hurts and Ayuk, get Burrow and Chase. Fair deal. Other GM has Josh Allen and an overall good team.
No. And also no. Still going to go with no. And I mean, it's a fair deal value-wise, sure. Hurts, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you don't understand at this point that Hurts is a week winner by himself, like there's certain players I'm just not moving. Joe Burrow ain't that. I like Joe Burrow. He ain't in the Hurts tier. He's not in the Allen tier. He's not in the Patrick Mahomes tier. There's 3 dudes that you need to completely overpay to get off my roster because those dudes just completely change the dynamic of a
Yeah.
week for you.
Yeah. You're going to make it hurt. You're going to slaughter the other person's roster if they want them. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, and I'm kind of starting to question. I mean, maybe this is the worst we're going to see it, but Mahomes isn't in that tier this year either.
This year he's not, but
we'll give him a down year before we start to say he's there. But if we start next year and he's still QB6, QB7, then it's like he should have never been QB1 in Dynasty forever. But I think this comes down to it's a 10-teamer. We always talk about 10-teamers and QBs. Now you're getting the advantage at QB here. Burrow's closer to the someone else can replace a little bit easier in this format, but you're also getting the receiver advantage too. So I could go with either one. If you really said this benefits you in some other way by taking Burrow and Chase, like pushing your draft pick up a spot, because that stack's not going to score as much as Hurts and Ayuk by a long shot for the rest of the year, then I could see it. If you can tell yourself something where it benefits me more than just the 2 for 2, then sure, take it.
So Burrow always makes me think about Stroud as well. Shane, Stroud is your QB what in Dynasty?
I don't know, man, because I don't do rankings, right? So I have a tier. Obviously.
Well, let's just talk it through.
Down.
6 point per passing touchdown. You have Allen, Hurts, Mahomes. Do you have Herbert above Stroud? No.
Are we talking? Is there any sort of indication of what I need for the rest of the year, or is it completely irrelevant?
Completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I think you almost have to consider putting Stroud at QB4, and after that, you can probably argue Burrow, Lamar, Herbert, that tier. But yeah, I mean, we talked about Herbert on the morning drive the other day, and it's he's good, but I almost just kind of wonder if that's going to be a rocky future for him here in the next year or two. If you think he's struggling to find his weapons right now, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, it feels like it. If you put Stroud QB4, isn't Stroud ahead of Allen on keep trade cut?
Isn't he 3 on keep trade cut right now?
I believe he's QB3, which is kind of insane considering Allen is literally going to be the QB1 for like the 4th straight season. But yeah, I think he is a step ahead of Allen, which is that's just name bias, Allen's too many turnovers, Shane. Do you care about turnovers when it comes to fantasy sports?
He's a beast. You watch him play. Every time my wife sees him play, she's like, he is a big boy. It's like, yeah, he's a freaking monster. Nobody wants to tackle him. Okay, let's go to this super chat here from Matt Gilbert. He's in one of our listener leagues, and shouts out Shane right here. Thank you for the super chat, Matt. He says, 1 of 2, happy to have given Shane that L. He lost in the Squirt League, and Shane could explain what happened. It was actually pretty awesome. 1 QB start 9, ridiculously stacked, but down a bunch of guys: Chubb, Andrews, Olave, JT, etc. Try to go get another hammer like Diggs or Amon-Ra to ensure the ship. Have fringe guys like Higgins, Ridley, G. Wilson, JSN, who aren't difference makers for me this year. Have Stroud and Herbert. Give a QB plus a wide receiver. Also have my late first ideas on a deal. Thanks as always.
Okay. I mean, so obviously, okay. How we want to tackle the trade first or my loss?
So let's tackle your loss first.
What was I? 11-0. 11-0.
It's in the Squirt League.
Yeah, Squirt.
As I say, it's not in a 1 QB start 9, is it, Shane?
No, it is a 12-team start.
Start 11.
Super flex.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolute monster of a team. I've got a lot of really good spike players. But it was a close game. I was up, and I ended up losing by less than a point. And the point that I lost on, because we both had players. The last players we had going were in the Eagles and the Bills game, and I lost on the Jalen Hurts 12-yard scramble at the end of the game. Yep. If it's 11 yards, I think I win. I'm not great at math. If it's 10 yards, I'm pretty sure I win. But look, I said it in the chat. Like, if I was going to lose, like that's the way to do it. At least
exactly. Your team, it gutted you, but you were happy about it at the same time.
No, but then he tilt traded for Kyren Williams. He gave up that 24 first for Kyren Williams, and your team. It's probably still very stacked. Like, do you even need him? It was just a tilt trade.
No, that was you. I lost, so now I need to punish you, because it was even that close, and I'm embarrassed. So no, I mean, I was trying to make other moves, right? I had a trade for JT out there, but unfortunately the other owner was too slow. She didn't pull the trigger. So then I moved on. And I saw Kyren after that 40-point game. I said, where's he at? I might need him in other leagues. Where do I have expendables first? It's a 1 at the time it was the 110, so it's the 109.
Yeah.
So it's the 109 for Kyren.
Right.
And like Scott talked about, we talked about this on the Monday morning drive. This helped cement it for me, is that Kyren has worked himself into where he's a dynasty asset for next year. After thinking it was going to be a 1-year fluke.
Yeah, it's wild.
Shane, let me ask you a little bit after that deal, given there's probably no trade deadline because it's a trades in 5 league. What made you assume that was your only first?
Yeah.
Your only first left, and through 2026 too.
Yeah.
What made you kill that flexibility right after week 12? Was it literally a tilt? Like you just had to feel like you added something?
No, I've been looking to make moves just to upgrade everywhere in that league. You know what I mean? I only have like legitimately like 2 or 3 spots where like I could even upgrade. So I was like, well, I could start DeAndre Hopkins. I can continue starting him, or, you know, I just wanted one more hammer. That really all it is. This is the definition of the hammer. This is where it came from, a team like this, where I'm just smashing fools left and right. And I'm like, that's not good enough. I need to win harder. I don't want to just win. I want to break people's spirits, so much so that they forget to set a lineup when they see they're playing.
You really do. That league gets you all hot and bothered, makes it move a little bit. Okay.
And real quick, sorry. And having no trade deadline also means, guess what? If I get knocked out of the playoffs, everybody's for sale.
Yeah, exactly. You have a bunch of contending pieces for sure. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to Matt's super chat here. Thanks again. Okay, so it's a 1 QB start 9, and basically he's asking if you should try to go get another hammer like Diggs and Amon-Ra to secure the ship. He says he has these fringe guys like T. Ridley, Garrett Wilson, JSN, who aren't really difference makers, and has an extra QB because he has Stroud and Herbert. So he's just looking for ideas on a deal. Is this where you hammer down and just go ahead and grab another one, even though it's a ridiculously stacked team? Shane just talked about how he wants to do that. Scott, you tend to be a little bit more frugal. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, how many players actually are going to help him here? So, if you just said, hey, I'm going to take a shot, try to get some points. He's got 4 guys. I don't know about Nick Chubb. I don't think he has a lot of value. I think he's more of just somebody will take him. But the other 3, JT, Andrews, Olave, plus the extra pieces that he has, he should be able to go to somebody and take 1 or 2 speculative shots the rest of the year to supplement, some of the studs that he already has. Because he's got a lot of junk, but it is a start 9. It is a 1 QB. So, be flexible. Who wants Olave? Who wants JT? Who wants Andrews? Who wants a first? Who wants Garrett Wilson? Who wants T. Higgins? You got a lot of players that if things had gone well for you could be smashing. Instead, a lot of your players are players you're like, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to get me there the rest of the year. So you're going to have to bite a bullet somewhere. So try it, see what's out there.
Yep. No doubt. Okay, let's go to Dylan's super chat here. Thank you very much, man. 12-team Superflex. Yeah, what's up?
Real quick. So we were talking about Tank and Nico. So here's a fun tweet from at Josh McAtee. Just check out his latest tweet. He just tweeted something out. Matter of fact, I'll just share it to the chat. Sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Thought Shane was going to drop something on us, and then
I'll just share it in the chat. He could have just been like, "Hey guys, by the way, check the chat." Don't tweet here. No, it's all good. It's all good. Dylan, thank you. 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR 6 point per passing touchdown. Fair deal for a contender and rebuilder. Stroud, Dell, Warren for Anthony Richardson, 224 playoff firsts, which are non-bye teams, a 2024 mid-second. Okay, so CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, and Warren, you give that for Anthony Richardson and 2 late 24 firsts and a 24 mid-second. What are you thinking?
It only if there's extrinsic value to you if you're getting more by taking the deal. I think Richardson in a playoff first for Stroud is lucky if you're getting Stroud for that.
Yep.
And then basically you're getting Warren and Tank Dell for another late first or playoff first. So who knows where that ends up being in a second. Yeah, I think I'm taking the Stroud side.
Yeah,
But I can see it if you're moving your 105 to the 102 by doing this deal because you're getting rid. It's probably too late to get rid of a lot of potential points, honestly. So that's the only reason I would do it. Plus, it's 6 point per passing touchdown. You know, I kind of want Stroud even more in that format. So yeah, I think I'm passing here.
Yeah, I want Stroud. I mean, I'm just looking at this story, like Scott said, a first and A-Rich. I don't know if that's enough for Stroud right now. A playoff first. And then giving up Dell and Warren for another first and a mid-second? No, because if I were to split these pieces up, I could do better than that. And I don't even know that I want to move off of Stroud. There's absolutely no reason to.
Yeah, 6 point per passing touchdown. It's kind of like you were talking about with Hurt, Shane, how you're like, I'm just not moving him. Stroud is one of those guys in a 6 point per passing touchdown. You have no desire or need to move him.
And CJ Stroud, for what it's worth, I was bored when I was at the eye doctor yesterday before I went in. He's averaging something like three and a half rushing attempts a game. And I know it's not a ton, but it's something.
Yeah, a little something. Okay, let's go to, I can unstar that one. Johnny Detroit has an inbox offer for us. He says, "Sup, fellas. Inbox offer of Garrett Wilson for 226 firsts. 12 teams start 10 half PPR on a rebuild. Have 624 firsts and 425 firsts already. I don't think I like it." Squirt emoji. I like how he bookended hammer and squirt. Very nicely done there, Johnny Detroit.
Shane, at some point you got to start getting players, right?
And if it's 26 first to get it done, I'll do it.
Well, I think he's
giving up.
Am I reading this right? I think he's giving Garrett Wilson here. Is the way I'm reading it. Is that how you see it, Clay?
Yeah. Of Garrett Wilson for 2. Yeah,
give me the Garrett Wilson side if you're getting all those extra picks and you already have 10 firsts before 2026. Why do I need to start buying 26 firsts? There's going to be plenty of leverage times where you're going to say, hey, that 109 next year, I don't really care about it. I can get a 26 first and a player or something like that for it. There's just no reason to sell.
He says giving Wilson. Yep.
Yeah, no thanks. This is where you're immediately in the offseason. What are you going to do, Shane? Hey, does anyone want
trying to buy
first for Garrett Wilson?
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, no. So no, you hold here.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't even sell. You don't even need to sell them. You have other things you can do. Triage your time, my friend. Okay. Just a nice comment from Sonic Boom 919 here. Love what you guys do. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go to this super chat here from Nathan Robarge. Thank you for the super chat. Oh yeah, and that's a non-orange cat on his shoulder. One of two. 12 teams start 11 super flex, 1.5 tight end premium, so full PPR and then 1.5 for tight ends. First year startup, tanking. Traded multiple startup picks. It was mayhem. LOL. Been few trades during the off season. How to adjust my strategy when there is no week-to-week running back / QB market. This is going to be good. And also best utilize my picks. His team is Stroud, Lamar, Bryce, billion QBs, Bigsby, Akers, Dell, Rice, Josh Downs, Mingo, Andrews, 24, 101. 3 more late 24 firsts, 4 seconds, 5 thirds, and some force. He wants to compete in 24. Much love. Appreciate it, man. So what do you think? I don't know if you want to address this first, but I definitely want to hear you address the week running back QB market week to week.
Okay, so we'll start here. Everybody that's in a super flex league, you need to know your quarterback scoring first and foremost. That's going to drive, how the quarterback market is. We have some leagues where quarterbacks score a lot. You can't afford to not have even Tommy DeVito or Jake Browning. You got to have a couple of those guys. You do not want to go into a league where it's like, I don't have an option 3 or 4 times during the year with no quarterback, right? Then injuries on top of that. So if it's one of those leagues where the WAR is pretty high and the passing points for quarterbacks are pretty high, like you want to load up on what he's doing with the quarterbacks. Here's what I see. He's got a bunch of picks. He's got the 101. Yep. He's got Stroud and Lamar. Here's the problem. where can you extract some of the value out of your quarterbacks with this roster? Like what do you not need on this team? Probably Bryce Young, right?
You don't need Bryce Young if you can do any small tier down or up.
Well, and I don't even need a quarterback because if I'm
Yeah.
already rostering 10 backup quarterbacks and I already have the market on Tyrod, Brissett, Mike White, Sam Darnold, I already have a bunch of those guys and I'm going to hold them till next year, the ones that are going to be the backups next year. Why do I need a third QB? Especially a third QB that honestly, if Sam Darnold was starting tomorrow, who would you rather start, him or Bryce Young? Not even close, right?
Bryce Young or Kyren Williams in Superflex.
What I was getting at was I think the problem is you've already accounted for the lack of a QB market because I'm guessing the rest of the league probably looks at your QBs and are like, why would I give you anything for the backup quarterbacks you're hoarding? I'll just go without them. So I think you need to find a way to turn some of your value, which means push on some of the value you have that you can actually trade. You may have to sell low on Bryce, but can I get a second and something for Bryce? Can I get a receiver for Bryce? I know his market's not great, but that's where you got to go to trade and just trust the strategy next year that if there's not a week-to-week QB market, you continue to build the way that you are and wait for it to happen.
Yeah, this seems like a nice build, right? Obviously good at quarterback and trashy at running back, which is perfect because you don't want to compete right now anyway. A couple young wide
control
receivers.
Of the 101 and first, doesn't need running backs yet because he's not contending. I mean, yeah.
It's going to be some nice wide receivers there at the end of the 24 first if he has to make the picks. Yeah, looks good. Anything to add, Shane? Or did
no? If I do, it's just talking the talk.
Just talking to talk. Fair enough. Okay, let's keep on keeping on here. Matt, thank you for the super sticker. He asks, value of Ayuk based on metrics, top 12 wide receiver. Thanks.
Shane?
I'm so up and down with Ayuk. I'd have to say yes. I wrote him up last week, but the good thing about him is I don't think, not in every league will you need to pay that price for him. He's very, I don't want to say polarizing because it's not that he's polarizing, but it's just, you see how I'm kind of struggling with how I feel about him.
Yeah, right.
And I have just multiple personalities. So there's just like 2 or 3 here. So in a league where there's 12 people, there's all types of different thinkings on him. So I like him as a top 12 wide receiver. Yes.
All right. I'm going to run through an exercise real quick.
Okay.
Puka or Ayuk?
Puka.
Pittman or Ayuk?
That one's tough for Shane. Shane loves him some Pittman. I'll take Ayuk.
Smitty or Ayuk?
Ayuk.
And last one, Addison or Ayuk?
What was the last one?
Addison or Ayuk?
I'll
go Ayuk.
And I'll take Pittman.
If you have any of those 4,
just
do you give a shit which one you have?
No, that's the cluster.
So that top 12 receiver where basically I don't want to say it's not a relevant question, but you're asking, okay, top 12 receiver, but you say Michael Pittman's wide receiver 15. Does it matter?
Right.
It doesn't really matter which ones you have in that range. For me, I want to have enough of them and then have the discipline when somebody sees that one of the 6 or 7 or 8, you can probably throw DJ Moore into that range too. I mean, he's been top 10 in everything this year. And, his situation probably gets better next year. So I'm like, I want those guys when everybody else thinks they're a tier above where they are. That's when you go, who can I sell? Yeah. Other than that, just give me all of them. They're all good players.
I'm laughing at this so hard right now. It's started from Chris. He says, what are cans? Shane, you want to take this one?
So back in the day, I started calling people trash cans, specifically NFL players, ungood ones. I would call them trash cans. Then it turned into just running backs really became trash cans. And then someone decided that cans was even better and they were correct. So now cans is basically just any, even like below replacement level type play.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish I could get credit to someone who said 53-man cans. Like he's just adding on to it, just piling on.
Great.
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, let's go to this one right here from Log. Thank you for the super chat. I've never seen this this avatar and this username before. If this is your first time, welcome. Welcome to the tribe. Good crew here. 12 teams, start 10, super flex, Lamar, Bryce, DeVito, Charbonnet, Singletary, Canders. He's not new. Pierce, Mandrews, Otten, Waddle, Pittman, Devontae Adams, Higgins, J-Mo, Mingo making another list, Noah Brown. 6 and 6 with like a bottom 5 in points for. Draft picks for 24. He has his first, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. And 25, he's got 1 second and some thirds. Don't think I can contend this year. Any moves to make right now or hold almost to the deadline? Okay.
Real quick, it's week 13. You should know if you can contend this year.
I mean, he's 6 and 6. He's probably been on the fence going, man, all I need is Miles Sanders and Damian Pierce and all these guys to come back. But yeah, I think this is one of those teams where you're probably sunk for this year, just given some of the names that I see on there. Yeah. So I wonder if it's also one of those teams where if he can shed a couple points, that he might be able to get the 103 or 104. Because if he's bottom 5 in points, I got to figure his potential points or max points is maybe even, you know what I mean? Like, can I get another draft spot or two by getting rid of the Singletaries of the world? I mean, why do I want a guy like that if it's going to maybe cost me a slot?
Yeah, Charbonnet. Like, do you go to the Ken Walker owner and just see if he or she cares about Charbonnet stuff like that? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you got a couple pieces you can just back out on and just reload next year. Hope Higgins comes back healthy. Bryce Young isn't a trash can like he was this year. And then with no Frank Reich, his situation looks better.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick. And Scott, we were talking about this, excuse me, in the Discord. T. Higgins, you were mentioning that there's a chance he could just get franchise tagged. And then there was some conversation back and forth as to whether or not that would happen. If he gets traded to a good team, I mentioned his value could spike to be like top 8 in KTC within a week. Where's your head at it with T? I like grabbing him right now, for better or worse. That's what my gut is telling me.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, we only have limited time to talk about this, but Bengals don't have a lot of players that they potentially could franchise tag. They basically have 3, and one of them is Jonah Williams, who they're not going to franchise tag because they already basically promised him they'd let him go to free agency this year because he's playing on a 5th-year option. If everyone remembers, he tried to get traded, and then they decided to move him to right tackle, so he's not one. And then the other one is DJ Reader, who they could tag him. But I think by default, they tag T. Higgins, and then they try to trade him. And they take the best pick they can get. That might be a late first. It might be an early second, whatever. They can replace him. And I'm not even honestly sure if they need to replace him with another wide receiver that's like a first-round pick. You paid your quarterback to be a distributor, and that's his job. So I think you get the Higgins tag, which will keep his value through free agency, right? Because he's still on the Bengals. But then it'll be, man, if he gets traded, where could he go? And if he gets traded, hopefully he goes to a situation where people are like, he's going to be the number 1. It's another DJ Moore, basically. Yeah. That's where he is. And you got to hope that the landing spot is enough to excite people. But if it is, you're going to be able to move him. So to your point, you might not be able to get top. You said he might spike to the top 8, Clay. I don't think he goes that high. But
you don't think if he goes to the Chiefs or the Chargers, he's not top 8 on KTC?
Well, Bengals are not trading him to the Chiefs. So
that's, yeah, okay, true.
It's going to probably be somewhere where you're going to go, I don't know. You know what I mean? But the point is, he'll be in the news. Someone will be excited about where he's going, right? And so that there'll be a week window where if you want to sell him, boom, you can sell him. So that's the reason to have him, is he's going to be a player. There's going to be probably a window to move.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was trying to do that move. It didn't work out. I was late to the game on it. But who was I trying to acquire? I think it was like Allen Robinson or something. He wasn't giving a shit with the Bears, and it's like, all right, he's going to move on and be something.
It was Allen Robinson. Graphic 13 says Higgins to Carolina. They've been trying to get that receiver the whole time. I can see them giving up their first pick of the second and then maybe like a 5th or something like that, and that's the best the Bengals can do. And you don't tell me if he went to Carolina tomorrow, people would be excited. He'd walk into Adam Thielen's target share at minimum.
Oh God! But actually do something with it because he's not a corpse.
Right. But if he went to Carolina, you would be excited, right? Someone would be like, he's going to get 150 targets. So, yeah.
Yeah, that turns me on a lot. Now that I heard it, I can't unhear it. I want that to
Can't
happen.
you see that? They give up their first pick of the second round and, something. I mean, the Bengals will probably do that. They could literally draft a replacement for Higgins at that spot if they wanted. That's exactly where they picked Higgins. So they used him for 3-4 years and literally turned him into the exact pick they used on him in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, makes a lot of sense, actually.
Indeed. Okay, so let's go to Patrick D. Thank you for the super chat. 12-team Superflex, start 9, half PPR, CMPT. What is that? Compton?
Oh, shout out to Compton in the house.
I'm assuming it's competing.
No, well, I'm just going to assume it's a shout out to Compton, and I'm not going to disrespect Compton. I don't want that type of smoke. So, what up, Compton?
Yeah, we're going Compton. 12-team Superflex, start 9, half PPR. We're going to say competing team. Compton competing. Gave Rachaad White, Ken Walker, Nico Collins, Will Levis, Kincaid in a 24-second. Got Hurts, Chubb, Goddard, Lockett, Sanders. That's 1 of 2. Have Fields, Deshaun Watson, Carr, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, London, JSN, Ramondre, Gus Edwards, Cans. Worth the overpay? Let's see. So again, gave up Rachaad White, Ken Walker, Nico, Will Levis, Kincaid in a 24-second. Got Jalen Hurts, Chubb, Goddard, Lockett, and Canders.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, it's close to enough for Jalen Hurts by itself, and the fact that you got 4 pieces. I mean, Lockett and Miles Sanders are really nothing. Chubb's really nothing, but that's still 3 players you could maybe flip for something at some point. So yeah, that's a smash deal.
And maybe you have to start one of those guys or whatever, but that's fine. That's fine. But
sure.
No, the piece de resistance is Jalen Hurts there. Yes, it's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. You've done quite well.
Yeah.
Someone came at us because we trashed Adam Thielen in his wide receiver 1 production. He's actually wide receiver 13 right now, which would make him a wide receiver 2. Also,
he ran out of gas.
He's living.
He's kicked the can. He's kicked the bucket the last month. So.
Yeah. He since being a wide receiver 2, good for him. Wide receiver 24, 42, 35, 21, and apparently he didn't even rank last week. Didn't even have a ranking. So yeah, he's bad. He's bad.
Oh, this is great. From Sean Salka. Accidentally super chatted the mannequin chill stream tomorrow rather than this. All right,
I guess the cat's out of the bag, huh? Right?
Yeah. No, I made it public. I posted all 3 of the streams for tonight and the 2 tomorrow. Just got them done with today, man. I was like, let's just do it. So let's cover Sean's now, though. 12-team. I assume this is a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Sean. 12-team start 9, half PPR. Lamar, Watson, Carr, Goff, Bijan, JT, Gibbs, Kamara, Moss, Algier, 53-man cans, Hill, Keenan, Olave, Cup, JSN, Hopkins, Kelsey, and Njoku at tight end. Andy lists a 25 third as an asset. 23-1. So that's with median scoring. Trade deadline this week. My wide receiver 3 spot and QBs have been inconsistent. Any trade ideas before the deadline to lock the ship? There are a few elite teams up there with me. Okay. So again, 12 teams start 9, half PPR.
Have we mentioned on this show that we don't like trade deadlines?
We have.
It's a start 9. I mean, I get it. He's got a little depth, but like it's a start 9 and you lose one of those core players in a start 9 and you go from 21-3 dominating to, well, I hope I can make the finals so I get my money back. You know what I mean? Like it's just at least push your trade deadlines out to the start of the playoffs, please. But like week 13, man. Can we upgrade on Derek Carr here?
I mean, is he worth anything in the conversation?
No, you're going to have to add something non-quarterback to get a better quarterback. You probably have to add a Olave or something like that, JSN to get an upgrade to Derek Carr. But I don't know if anybody's followed some of the Derek Carr stuff, but let's just say there's been rumblings that like he's gone basically almost Carson Wentz on the Saints.
Oh, really? And wait,
To
in
where
terms
like
of locker room stuff?
there's zero chance that he's coming back next year, even though his contract is like he should come back. Like I don't want to say he never starts again, but like this is his second team and it's ended poorly or could end poorly now for the second straight year. And who wants Derek Carr as their starter when you can get, you know, many other players? So that would be one I would want to move off of anyway, but you're going to have to add who do you think he could get, Shane? JSN and Derek Carr. Who could he get? Could he get Brock Purdy?
No, not if the dude has any sense to him.
Would you send the offer?
I would send the offer and hope that the dude doesn't have any sense.
He'd send it.
Yeah, I'd send it. I mean, I would definitely send it. But yeah, if I could get Brock Purdy, I'd probably do a little happy dance.
Okay, so
JT? You don't need JT with Moss, Kamara, Gibbs, Bijan. I mean, why are we holding JT?
Yeah.
You know, that's one I'd be trying to shop.
So in a situation like this where you've got Moss and JT, are you just, I guess you good selling Moss to he could have a couple big weeks. So you're selling Moss, you'd be selling him to a contender. But what does that look like? Are you just playing him and letting him just until he dies? Until he dies, he's playing.
I got found money that we've seen get 90% touch shares without JT. I'm using that and I'm trying to sell Kamara, Gibbs, JT. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking to try to extract better value somewhere else, whether it's a receiver or especially quarterback. I don't want to go into the season or the playoffs with Derek Carr.
Go sell one of those running back or people that believe in running backs as building blocks. Be like, hey, JT's young. He's going to get a lot of rest till next year. You want him? Let's see what we can do here.
Yeah, it looks like Sean needs some draft capital too. I mean, he listed a 25 third. That was it. So with those moves, with these pieces, maybe try to get a little bit of that.
Someone in the chat listed, how about Russell Wilson? I mean, Russell Wilson's like the QB 18. He's having a good real football year. It's not really a good fantasy. It's an okay fantasy season.
I mean, I'd do what I can to get him over Derek Carr. What do you got to add?
Well, you know what? Based on the context that you just put in there, where Derek Carr's eye mascara is really annoying people. He is the QB 24. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that is an upgrade. That is probably something you should investigate. And Russell Wilson does still have some stink on him.
Yeah, he does. Let's say what's up to the crowd. 387 eyeballs in here. Thank you very much for joining on a Taco Tuesday. 9:15 already. Scott's being a sport and doing this stream even though Kentucky is playing, so it just shows he's a savage supporter of this channel, right?
Oh, I'm watching it while we're streaming.
Shane was like, dude, it's like the fourth game.
It's the fourth game of the season.
It's the fourth game of the season.
There's another.
That's why I went and put the hat on. That's why I had to go put the hat on, which apparently is bothering Kevin in the chat. Sorry, Kevin.
Oh, is it? Yeah. And then Dynasty Daddy says, love the hat, Shane. Yes, Shane is wearing Trades in 5 gear. There you go. Go down the description.
Check that out.
Get
It's the Dynasty Trades in 5 merch store.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's all over the place in our link tree, on our descriptions, on YouTube. You can find merch. DynastyTradesIn5.com. We have a website. We don't shout that out tons and tons, but it's on there as well. So check it out. Okay, let's keep going here. This is Joshua. Love the show. Thank you for the super stream. Love the show. Finally made it to a live stream. 12 team start 10 super flex, 1.5 for tight ends. Kyler, A-Rich, Fields, Gibbs, JT, Cans. Chase, Waddle, Downs, Pittman, Dell, and then Hollywood and Pitts. Offered Amon-Ra St. Brown for Fields, Downs, and a late first. Figure it's a smash deal. I have 3 other firsts and not winning this year. Okay, so he would be giving Fields the field side. He's giving Fields, Downs, and a late first, getting Amon-Ra St. Brown. What do you think? 12 team start 10 super flex.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you're overpaying a little bit, I think. But also we've debated Fields ad nauseum, infinitum. I tried to say the Latin word, and that was not it, but I'm not even close. We've talked a lot of Fields in the Discord, on the drives, on the AMAs, everywhere. I'm fine with this. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown is an elite wide receiver. I don't do rankings, but if I did, he'd be high. He'd be high in the rank.
He'd be up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Eric Scott?
Am I crazy to think that is there a little bounce back on Fields' value?
Yes.
To where it feels like someone would at least give you a first for him, and then you're giving up another first. And I'm not saying Downs is worth a first, but I guess you don't care what type of value you're getting right here, because you don't care about injured players. You really don't care. Do you shop this for something different? Do you try to say, hey, who wants Justin Fields in the late first? What else can I get? Can I get Joe Burrow instead? I'd rather do that than get Amon-Ra and give up all three pieces. That's just kind of how I'm feeling with Fields right now. And maybe Shane needs to talk me out of this, because in a week we could be going, Justin Fields just got benched and we don't nobody wants him anymore.
I was all about buying Fields back for buying him as a running back, basically running back production, from the standpoint of whatever happens after this year. I don't care what happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's a sunk cost. I'm okay with that. It's just in this type of deal, you're looking at getting a legitimate long-term asset in Amon-Ra St. Brown back.
Well, and he adds this to basically where his market in his league is probably Fields is trash. And this is the one lifeline where, so maybe if that's the context, take the deal where you're getting something you want and just wipe your hands clean of Fields. So I'm good with it in that context.
Where I'm at with Fields and the Bears is there's absolutely no chance in hell that Matt Eberflus comes back, that Justin Fields comes back. Right now they have the first overall pick and I believe the third or fourth.
No, they're not in the top. They're not in the top four. I think they're 105 right now. But
then it was 105. Either way, they can do whatever they want. And one of those things they're going to want to do is just start over, most likely. And look, I still like Fields, but at that point, then he's a quarterback that's either a backup or is a quarterback going to another team on his rookie contract, which has never turned out well.
Yep. Okay. I was just going into the back end to turn off the supers for the evening. Let's put this up here. This is just a nice comment from Steve. You guys are the shit. We can say that one. No other questions. Just a thanks for the weekly edutainment. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's move on to John Wenninger. Thank you for the super chat. We got a 12-team Superflex start 9 tied for first. Lamar, Dak, Tyreek Hill, DK, Mostert, Mixon, Connor, Trey. So Trey McBride, Lost Andrews, Jaden Reed, Gabe Davis. I have my own picks. Who should I go after to lock? CD? Okay, that's your team. What are you doing?
You got Andrews buried. You are a little weak at receiver. I mean, you got Tyreek and DK, but then we got Gabe Davis and Jaden Reed. I mean, if you can get CD, pair him with Dak for the rest of the year, it's a start 9. I really can't think of I'm sitting here. The first two names that came to mind were Zay Flowers and Dak. You got Lamar and or Zay Flowers and Lamb, right? You got Lamar and Dak.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I'm more than okay with. Here's Andrews, and here's what do you call that guy? DK. What else do you want from me? And go from there.
Gabe Davis, we throw him in.
Yeah, and Gabe, you can have Gabriel as well.
Gabe Davis is funny. He scores like just enough touchdowns here and there to be like, "Hello, I'm still here." Like great best ball.
I like Gabe Davis. Player. I like Gabe Davis as my last flex spot. I love him there.
In the start 11, if he's living in the last flex spot.
Even in 10, even in 9, to be honest with you. Look, he's as likely to give me 30 as he is 4. And either way, the spot that he's in, I can live with it with either outcome.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Again, I just turned off the supers. Thank you very much for those who gave them. Dynasty Dumpster Fire has one for us. Thank you, sir. Shane, we'll start with you on this one, bud. 12-team Superflex PPR start 9, 9-3, and fighting for a bye. QBs Allen, Lamar, Mayo. Mayo Man, Alan Lamar, Will Levis, running backs ETN, Brees, Saquon, Monty, wide receivers JJ Chase, AJ Brown, Pittman, Dell, and at tight end Hawkinson and Schultz. The next one's virtually no more picks for 3 years. What moves can I make? I'm playing 2 other competitors the last 2 weeks before the playoffs, and the deadline's tonight. Both starting QBs are on bye, so stuck with Levis. Yeah, I've got a league where it's kind of like this. Should I trade Lamar, Brees, 26 second for Mahomes and Brain Rob, or Monty, Levis for Mayfield and Brian Robinson? Basically going to take an L this week and lose the bye without making a move, I fear.
I'm 100,000% okay with Brain Rob and Baker.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. I mean, Levis, I don't think any of us believe in him long term. Monty, a very nice running back, but Brian Robinson's the running back? He's top 4 overall. Yeah. That's all I know. So yeah, I'll take Brain Rob and Baker there. Clay doesn't like it.
It just feels like such a wash. It feels like such a wash, and Levis could have like a little swing. Mayfield is never going to be like liquid at all. And so Monty and Brain Rob are the same.
2 things here. One, it's your QB3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I'm losing at QB3 in the long term, I can live with it. It's just a bet against Will Levis. You know, it's not like Will Levis is somebody in June you're going to say, oh, man, I wish I wouldn't have traded him away. You know, I think there's probably a 60-40 shot that he has a better shot to start next year than Baker Mayfield, but it's not like it's guaranteed. And the second thing is, I've done this a couple times. I'm trading away players for this week's matchup if they're in this range. You're trading 2 guys that, you know, you don't want to play versus you're probably saying, all right, I need a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like I need something in the short term to try to win. So, I mean, if you think you're going to lose a bye, if you don't make a move, then go for it. You're not giving up any core pieces. So I don't know. That's just my approach. I wanted to address the bigger thing real quick. I don't know if you already unstarred his comment, but no picks for 3 years.
Yeah.
What does he have 3 years after this year? I mean, I'm fine running it back with Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, Lamar Jackson. He's got a good core, but what do we do when things go wrong? Because if league mates don't bail you out on a team like this, you have 1 or 2 injuries and it's like you're sunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you move somebody for a pick?
I'm moving Dell. I'm moving Dell for a pick.
I'm going to move a Brees Hall. That's probably a guy you can get picks for.
Is he doing anything though? Like,
no, he's been horrible.
I know he's been horrible. I haven't seen him moved, and he's running back. He's tough to sell right now, I would imagine. Who would you rather have, Brees Hall, or Tank Dell right now?
I mean, I'd take Brees, but then I'd turn around and go, "What can I get for Brees?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't need those 4 running backs. When the one I can probably get the most for is the one that's absolutely useless and not in my lineup in a start 9. I don't know.
So we were just talking about Monty, so let's throw this up real quick. This was starred from Matt. Are we selling Gibbs high?
What's high?
Yeah, I'll sell anything. I'll sell my mom if you pay me enough. I mean, but what are you giving me back?
Would you sell him? Would you sell him for the current 104?
No.
It's probably right there.
Yeah.
Depending on the tight end format, you could argue you take that just for the Bowers or Marv, or you know what I mean? Like you could see it just for the flexibility of it, but
yeah, for that reasoning, I understand that, but I'm just straight up thinking like the player that I could get there or Gibbs, I'll take Gibbs. I've already told people Gibbs is exempt from my running back hatred.
He is. He's going to be a guy that probably lives on his receiving production. That doesn't even matter what he does touchdown wise or rushing wise. Like as long as he's in a good offense with the quarterback that's willing to throw it, like he's always going to kind of have that floor that you want.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very likable too. I swear that matters with dynasty value. Okay.
Are you giving me? Am I getting the Chris Olave plus, Garrett Wilson plus that range for Gibbs? Like that's when I would consider doing it. If I'm getting a receiver that I can buy somewhat cheap and get a different piece. I'm totally fine pulling Gibbs out of my lineup and going, hey, let me go buy James Conner or somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody cheap for the rest of the year and just replacing it that way. But if I can't do that, then what is selling him high?
Yeah. Johnny Detroit said in here, I wonder what it's like now. Over 350 people in here with only 65 likes. Smash the button for the guys. Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Easiest way to help out the channel, right? Shane, you used to be, oh yeah, I used to call you the like police. What are we working with, Mr. Shane?
I no longer even look on YouTube because it just makes me sad. To be honest with you, to see the likes just not liked. I actually sent in a help ticket to YouTube and I asked them if the like button was broken, and they told me no, that our fans just hate us.
They got back to you?
Yeah. They said, no, your viewers probably just hate your show. And please don't contact us any longer because this is a Wendy's. So I don't know. Just people don't want to like it. It's fine.
Don't got that heck this anymore. This is a Wendy's. I'll go back and listen to that tomorrow and see how that came about. Kyle, when I saw this, I was like, Kyle Bonanza. Kyle Balzana, thank you for the super chat. 10-team Superflex, start 10, half PPR, full PPR for tight ends. CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Jordan Love, Baker, JT Kyren, Rashad White, Jerome Ford, Jefferson, Olave, Puka, Tank, Downs, Terry, Kincaid, McBride, Fergie, and 324 first. Traded Charbonnet, a 24 second and third for Rashad. 5-7 on a 4-game win streak. Wanted to tear up at wide receiver, but the league values picks over players. Overpay or just stay put?
It's an overpay, but I mean, go back to the first part. Like, how realistic is your playoff shots? If
it's a 10 by 10 and you just need to win, you basically probably need to stack every win you can for the rest of the year. I mean, I'm guessing he needs at least 7-7 to make it in because he's 5-7.
But you know, there's leagues where even if you win out, that you still won't make the playoffs, and then it's all for naught. You know,
well, it's a 10. I wonder if it's one of those where 6 out of 10 make it. So if he can just get to 7-7, he's in. You know what I mean? In that case, isn't that why you buy picks in a shallower league? Is literally just to make like week to week upgrade deals like this. Like, is exactly why you're doing it. So I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I like it.
And Rashad White could get hurt tomorrow, and you go, I wouldn't take Zach Charbonnet for him straight up. You know what I mean? I'd rather have Charbonnet. Like, it could change that fast, but that's the life of playing running backs week to week.
Let's go to this one right here. Puka or T real quick. Puka? You guys going Puka?
Yeah, Puka.
Puka. Okay. Let's go to Masternator. Says he has a pay to brag here. Thank you very much. Pay to brag won a bunch on sports books lately. First year dynasty player. Not sure what's brought more joy. Drafting Stroud or finding y'all this year. Appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Nice job on the sports books.
Yeah, excellent.
I stay away. I stay away from them. I just don't even want to mess with it.
I hit a big parlay this weekend.
Oh,
10-leg parlay, $20, nice. Won $1,000.
Nice.
Woo, nice.
Oh, it's a hit a 10 out of 10. I got 9 out of 10.
Dude, that's awesome.
I need to go hedge my bets on the 10th one. So
yeah,
it reduced my payout about 5%, but still locked it in.
Excellent job.
Nicely done. Oh, and look at this.
Then I push the money aside so I don't go and try a 10-leg parlay every single day for the next year until I lose it all back.
yeah, right. Look, here's Shane's mom, Diane Manila. Not sure what y'all are talking about, but you guys are so knowledgeable and entertaining. Night. Thank you, Diane. Shane's mom. I love how she comes on here.
And hopefully she missed that comment where Shane referenced her in the stream.
I saw her in there. I said what I said.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I figured you did. I was just making sure.
Okay. This is good. Caleb says, I would do some vile things in exchange for a roster review. Yeah, so we're gonna have a promo video go out on that tomorrow, actually, or tonight. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we're doing a 25% off discount on roster reviews this week. So more to come on that. But you can go to dynastytradesin5.com/roster review, or go to dynastytradesin5.com. Look at the left hand side of the screen. Easiest way is under Scott there. Email roster review at dynastytradesin5.com. We'll help you out, talk to you about the various options. Okay. You would do some vile things. Let's go to Brian here. Thanks for the super chat. 10 by 10, 1 QB, PPR. So that's 10 teams, start 10, 1 QB. Give Garrett Wilson and an early 24 second for the projected 101 and Pittman. Yes. Have the 102, 103, 3 seconds. 102 is 18 points from the 101. Get top 3 picks or holds.
I mean, I'm taking the 101 easily over Garrett Wilson, even in a 1 QB, because it's going to be Marv.
Well,
and then
it's Marvin Harrison, who's already worth more.
And then you're buying Pittman for a second in a 1 QB. Yeah, I mean, interesting deal, but yeah, I don't even don't even ask it. And he already has the 102 and the 103.
Yeah. Bonkers. Take it. 101, please.
Oh, he said it's 2 seconds, Brian. It doesn't matter. It could be 8 seconds.
Yeah, it could be seconds through 2034. Okay. Yeah. Like that one guy a couple streams ago where they traded out first to, what was it, 2029? 2029 is where the first has gone
out. It was
out
Jamar Chase for 6 firsts.
6 firsts. Yeah, that's
for the next decade.
Oh God. Okay, let's see. Let's put this one up, and we'll start with Shane on it. Jay Sapphire asks, out of playoff contention, anyone else getting spammed with just terrible trades? Garrett Wilson for 2-2 and a late first. Pittman for 2-2 and a late second.
I mean, that's someone that, they understand the frameworks of a process trade. So they're like, here is a player in a first. It's just that the player is very suboptimal, and then the pick is also bad. So it's like you're trading it for nothing. Well, not nothing, but you're really underselling it. Like, I've seen much worse offers in our Discord. We have a trash trades offer channel where all we do is just share trash trade offers that we've all received, us and the patrons, the squirters, as I like to call them. No, Ruben didn't like my deal. Yeah, I just sent Ruben a pretty bad offer, but whatever. He's going for a title run, so I figured I'd try it. Just give it a shot. But yeah, I'm not getting spammed any more than usual, I don't think. What I think causes like the additional spamming is trade deadlines, because then everyone's like, I have to make a move now.
Yeah. And they're trying to shed like the garbage in a shallow format. Like nobody even wants them in a really deep format, and they're just spamming it.
I'll say this. I've been just taking note of what happens in a lot of my leagues, because I've been extremely active over the last probably 7 to 10 days through the holiday break and, today and yesterday, just trying to get as much done as I could. It's very interesting how people are holding on to veteran production, I think, a little bit more than I thought they might. Like, I've had a couple of discussions with, hey, you want to move a Stephon Diggs, you want to move a Tyreek Hill, you want to move. I mean, I'm looking for even after our talk in the Discord yesterday about Austin Eckler, that's still a guy I would be willing to buy on the right spot. But it feels like a lot of people are they don't maybe see the 24 class the same way that maybe we're looking at the picks. And I don't want to overvalue the picks, but I'm sitting here going like, hey, my mid to late first next year should buy me somebody like, it should get me in the conversation to buy one of these players, especially on a team. I was dealing with a team today that is 6 games under 500. That's a doubleheader, so it's not like as bad as 6, like 3 and 9, but they're out of it. And it was, I'll hold Diggs, I'll hold McCaffrey next year. I need the 101 to move McCaffrey. So it's just like there's not even, I mean, I was offering like the 106 and I would throw in an extra piece, and it was just not even in the same stratosphere. So clearly they're just saying, I don't care what I'm getting. I'm either getting overpaid or I'm just going to ride it out. Or maybe it's being a content creator. It's almost like I feel like I'm not giving you what you want. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of that too, it feels. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but it feels like some people are just not seeing the direction they should be going.
Yeah. Good job, Shane. Good job.
Next
Shane.
question.
That was going to be a 7-ummer there. Okay, let's go to Nathan Morrow. Thank you for the super chat. 12-team Superflex, start 9, PPR, tight end premium. Allen, Geno, CD, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Kelsey, Andrews, likely. K9, Rashad White, 25 first and second. Have literally nobody beyond that. Trade Jamar for Olave and a mid 24 first. Let's start with that one because there's a few here. Olave and a mid 24 first or Jamar Chase right now. Scott. 12-team start 9.
It's a start 9. All right. So caveat's going to be, what else can I do with that first? Can I turn around and buy something else that helps me even more? Can I go make the same deal and go buy, I don't know, can I go get Justin Jefferson? You know what I mean? Can I go get something that I like a little bit more? If not, it doesn't feel like it's really helping you. And Olave's not helping you the rest of the year, probably. I mean, he's probably not playing this week. May miss multiple games because this is his second concussion in less than a year or in less than 13 months. So it kind of feels like you're forcing this, right? And I think Jamar Chase will still produce. He just won't win the league for you. I mean, he's gonna give you probably 12 to 15 a game. It's just he's not gonna blow it out of the water. So I'm not doing this deal probably.
20-4 locked in buy for the playoffs. I don't know. That makes me lean towards wanting to do it more if the pick is liquid in the league, because kind of your point, how Jamar's not going to put up a ton of points. See what I'm
but I don't
know.
I think you have to evaluate trade deadline. How much is the pick going to actually buy me? Because if I'm stuck holding the pick, if I can wait 3 weeks and hold the pick, and I know if Chris Olave is back and producing, then sure. But if I'm just going to get stuck going back, if I'm betting Chris Olave versus Jamar Chase straight up the rest of the year, I'm taking Chase still. Yeah.
Let's go through these other ones here. Ken Walker for Stevenson in a second.
I'm fine.
Sure.
Sure.
Sounds good. Jamar and a 25 second for JJ.
Yes. Yep. Isn't this one of those where when JJ was down, you would have done this, and then you now get it exactly. You can do it another way. Go for it all day, man.
100%. What are good moves for me since I have no depth? Just getting most mid players to fill spots. I think he said he literally has nobody beyond this. He must have shitted everybody to try to get points off of his max points for a team. So in terms of what to do, Allen, you keep. Well, I mean, is it one of those teams where you have to just split? Get some more stuff.
I mean, it's a start 9 though. Like if I can't move Mark Andrews for value, then I can win the ship with Allen, CD, Chase, Adams, Kelsey, Rashad White, and Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
If I don't, it's just bad luck. So that's why I like the Ken Walker for Ramondre in a second deal. That's banking a second that you didn't have. Right. And is Ramondre versus Ken Walker determining if you win or lose? No, they're probably just a placeholder.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Let's move this one off here. Okay. Should I unload Goff? Got T-Law, Love, and a top 5 pick.
Sure.
Yeah, what is this here?
There's got to be some context. What do you get?
Somebody start it.
I started because it was one of those questions where you got a bunch of options. I was just going to answer it by saying I'm willing to move any of the 3 QBs that you have, depending on what the offers are. I'm not stuck on T-Law, definitely not stuck on Jordan Love. You know what I mean? Like, who can shop all 3 and be willing to move the one you can get the best return? Because as soon as you go, hey, I got to get rid of Jared Goff, and they see your other QBs, they're going to lowball you on Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So just put it out there. Hey, willing to move a QB. Don't need a QB back necessarily.
Okay, let's go to Shane. Shane, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Shane, do you have an OnlyFans, bro?
I don't, but I have something very similar. I have DIDIT. where you can video chat with me and we can talk about whatever you want. It's your dime. So if you want me to take my shirt off and rub on my nipples for a little bit, I didn't read any of the explanations and I didn't think to ask them that. I'm just going to assume that that's okay.
Our DIDIT contract is over after tomorrow when they find out what Sheen's been doing.
Yeah. So let me rephrase that. I definitely won't take my shirt off and rub my nipples. I would never do that. But if I were to do that,
that was a deliverable in the agreement. Shane rubbing his nipples on the
No, yeah, we have did it. So I just did 3 calls today before the stream. It was pretty fun. Quick, easy. You share your screen with us. We go over your team, talk about whatever you want to talk about. You know, I'm a man of few words, so I won't pontificate too long and stretch out the call longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, I was lucky last night. I actually got to meet Cleasy Monster Sniper himself. It was awesome. I saw his team and I was like, oh, you're Cleasy Money Sniper. It was very cool. He said, just shout out to Clay for our DIDIT call last night. You're the man. Yeah, I'm a fan of the platform, and the first call is free. So honestly, take us up on it. The links are going to be in the description to our expert pages, and I've got a Calendly link in there where you can just book it. I've done 20 calls. It's been so fun meeting the community, meeting some of the OGs, getting some shout outs, getting some love, but also talking Dynasty. It's essentially a mini roster review it's uncapped for 15, 30 minutes, whatever you want. So hit us up. Definitely take advantage of the free call. No strings attached style. All right, boys, let's keep going here. And thank you, Cleasy Monster Sniper. It was awesome meeting you. Okay, let's go to, we have another super here. 12-team super flex, half PPR, start 9. Hertz, Herbert, Orb, 0 RB. CD, Olave, JMO, Kincaid, McBride has the 101, 102, 106, 107, 109, and then the 201 and 202. Next steps to compete in 24. Good job with Orb.
He threw the Orb in there. This is a well-constructed team.
Yep.
It's gutted with everything that you do not need. You got the tight end you don't got to worry about next year. You got the quarterback you don't got to worry about next year. You got 2 good receivers, a shit ton of picks. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing that stood out to me is get rid of JMO. That's the one thing on the screen that doesn't fit. And I don't know. He's one of the guys where I'll take what I can get. If the person at the 111 is willing to take him on, and I get I give him the 201 in JMO for, like, you know what I mean? Marginal upgrades I would take. Wouldn't even think twice about it.
No. Yeah. And this one right here, next steps to compete. Yeah. So did we give him enough there? I mean, yeah, he's got great construction, lots of flexibility with those picks. Are you maybe trying to kick some of that to 2025 if you can afford to? I guess you don't want to extend the rebuild that long. You can come right in and slam. Yeah. Start 9.
I think this is one of those where you just walk away and you come back in February or March and you're going to feel even better because you have 6 of the top 13 picks and he's got the 201 and the 202. So he's got 7 of the top 14 picks. I mean, you've done good. You've done everything. Yeah. This is one where you file away. What do you call it, Shane, when you just leave the team in the dust the rest of the year? Wipe your hands clean, right? Check it again in a month.
Exactly.
Definitely
trade JMO because he's
the next day for Shane.
Yeah, I'll check the next day. But no, I mean, you've got a good foundation. Just some things went wrong. That's fine.
Because
start 9. Start 9 is just, that's the beauty part about start 9, right? Is that you should never be looking 3 years down the road, 2 years down there. I can understand maybe 2 years, but you shouldn't have to have multiple years of rebuilding in the start 9. If you do, then I don't know, God hates you and things just keep going wrong.
Yeah. Trade JMO. Thanks.
Oh, I read that as he already traded him. I was like, hell yeah, that was fast.
It's like nicely done with the outbox offer
in 1 minute.
Nicely.
No, he just said trade JMO. Cool. Yeah. Definitely.
That's another thing that's been fun too that I'll say on the DIDIT calls. Sent out so many outbox trades on the calls. It's fantastic. Like, oh, I like that. Let's just send that now.
Do you find people are more likely? Do you find more people are likely to send the offers when you're on the phone with them?
Yeah,
And like when you're telling them what to send, like versus you tell somebody to do it and then they report back whether feels like a lot of people are hesitant to send it until they get that assurance. Like, because we do roster reviews and it's like, dude, send it out while we're on the call, like literally right now. Don't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with trade deadlines and stuff. So yeah, we were just shooting out offers, and it's nice being able to share the screen and go over to the league mates rosters and all too. We're like literally like constructing trades and shooting them out. So lots of fun. I think Danny Do Good, shout out. He's a patron of ours. He shot out like 8 or 9 trades at least. Yeah, strongly done. So this one, here's JMO having some value in a trade. Apparently, give Kyler for Fields and JMO. Rebuild 12-team Superflex. No.
I started that one just for Shane because I saw it and I'm like, if that's the kicker to go from Fields to somebody else, then all day take the Kyler side.
Is JMO basically Pickens? Are they like the same? Like
JMO wishes he was Pickens at this point, but they're both pretty much ass-tastic. The difference with JMO, which you should be a little more concerned about, at least Pickens is on a terrible offense. So you could go, well, his quarterback sucks. And he had Matt Canada calling plays. So maybe there's some narrative of hope for him. What's the narrative on JMO? That offense is freaking bananas. Jared Goff is pretty good. Everyone else seems to eat okay. Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Laporta.
Khalif Raymond.
Like at some point you got to look in the mirror and go, you know what? I'm the problem. That's me imitating JMO. Yeah.
Not Donovan Peoples-Jones. Apparently he's a complete zero.
God, I love DPJ too. Yeah, that just not this year, not anymore. Okay. Raymond asks here, we still have just a couple starred. Wait, where does Scott go on the Nico or Tank?
Yeah, I didn't answer this earlier, so I did star that when I saw it. I'm on the if I can get Nico and something for Tank, I'm fine doing it. I think they occupy the same spot, but like Shane said, you should be able to get a second in there, a second and third swap or something like that. You should definitely be able to get a plus.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay, we have 3 more started, and then we're gonna let Scott, you can go if you want. I was gonna do like
game's over.
Game's over.
Game's over. It was an absolute whitewashing.
Kentucky won.
Blew them out. So
Kentucky
yeah, I'm good.
Blue and whitewash.
Miami.
Graphic 13 says Dynasty Trades in 5 Tuesday. Playoff push is real. Indeed, man. It's getting wild out there. This one is hilarious from Sean McGee. Got a new job so I could watch the live streams.
Congrats, bro. Congrats on the new gig. Hopefully it's good for you.
Yeah, man. Congrats on the new job indeed. And I'm glad it frees up your Tuesdays at 8:30 to 10:03-ish. Okay, we'll unstar that and then go Birds. Come on. What are we doing here?
Shane started
that.
Let's do a giveaway right now. So we'll do let's do a Dynasty Trades in 5 shirt. So we'll do #Shane. Okay, so shirt. Okay, just give me a second. All right, and then we'll do another one. Ooh, this will be interesting. We'll do #Hammer. For I'm not going to do that yet. Don't type in #Hammer yet. All right, we got 21 entries for Shane.
It's a long hashtag. Don't type in #Dynasty Hammers.
Yeah, we did get a bunch of entries come in though. We can make it super fast. I do the #Shane quickly, y'all. Okay. Oh, Evan Orr. I talked to your league mate earlier today. Okay, let's. What else do we want to talk about here, guys? Who's another big person in the news today?
I mean, it's all talk's been about Puka, about JT, Zach Moss.
I know what I wanted to ask you. Caleb Williams, he's got such a stink on him right now. I mean, it's wild. He went from everybody was so high on him, and then there's all this like hate, all this. Oh, Marvin Harrison's the 101 in all formats. Drake May is now the dude. I don't know. I mean, are you seeing that too? Everybody's thinking Caleb Williams is not amazing or what he was.
I don't think any of the stuff matters.
No.
I don't think any of it matters. Now, if you want to take Marv 101, I think shout out to J Rich from DD who put out his mock, and he talked about why if you had to pick right now You didn't want any risk of Caleb going to the Patriots and you don't know who his coach is going to be. Like all of those things. By the time you make your rookie pick, though, you're going to know all of that. So it's almost like you have to kind of understand the ranges of outcomes for the quarterback class, the receiver class. But he said if you have to pick right now, Marv would go 101 because someone would go, I don't know about the other stuff, but I know about him. So you don't have to decide, though, until then. So I'm looking at like, in leagues where I have top 3 picks, they are all equal value to me right now, basically. Mm-hmm. So if I have 102, I'm not giving it up for a little less than 101. Now, does that mean I'm going to have a preference at a later time? Yeah. But right now, I'm not really treating them as different value. So
I know this isn't easy to do because there's a ton of variables in play, but I know for myself, when I'm looking at my picks and I'm looking at my team, you naturally kind of come up with like a little placeholder situation, right? You're like, okay, that like 103, I probably need to address quarterback based on this team. And then when you look at late 24 first, you're like, that could be wide receivers. I know we don't want to make our picks right now when we're not even in December, but for you guys, like when you look at late picks like that, are you seeing, hey, there's going to be a nice receiver there, or maybe a QB? There's some deeper QBs who look pretty nice too. I don't know. Go ahead.
I mean, I already have the draft mapped out in my head right now, which makes absolutely well. If they're like 105, I mean, I'm still taking Caleb, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, maybe Jaden Daniels above him, Malik Neighbors, and then the NFL will tell me who I'm taking after that in the prospect season and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're getting close to season where we get to do those 1-by-1 picks, the 101, the 102, like last year, right?
Yeah, right.
By the time we get to the 112, it was 3 months ago when we started. We completely forget who we took.
Yeah. No idea.
Yeah.
Hashtag Shane. I hit the backwards button. Oh, okay, good. It still worked. We have 47 entries. Let's do the screen share. Thank you for okay.
I saw this one. Trevor
Jaden
Anderson,
Daniels
in the first round. So check out Jay Rich's mock. He had him in the top 5. I think by the time we get here to the season where we're talking about who are the next QBs, he's going to be the one everybody's going to gravitate towards. His passing efficiency is ridiculous. He has over 50 starts in college under his belt. He played 2 years in the SEC. He's rushed for 1,000 yards, which is including sacks, which is even more impressive in college. So, I mean, he's going to have exactly what you wanted. I don't want to say he's quite Justin Fields, but I think he's right there in terms of how people are going to view him. And he's the QB3 in the class. So if you say, where would Justin Fields go as a prospect in this class? I mean, it's what, top 5, top 6? Like, I think he's exactly the same thing, but, even better of a passer, I think.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, I took him we did the Destination Devy staff.
You took him 104, didn't you?
Yeah, I took him 104 over Neighbors.
Yep.
Yeah, good for you. Let's go to the giveaway tool. Scott, if you would be so kind. Thank you. Okay, we are going to hit the draw. We got 52 entries on the hashtag Shane. I said this is what, a 5 t-shirt? Okay.
I wasn't listening, but yes.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. When he or she emails me, we'll always give out some options. Oh, Masternator. There he is. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your comments earlier saying that finding us was one of the best things that happened this year. You are the winner of a piece of Trades in 5 merch. Congratulations. Let's just draw this again. And this will just be another shirt. Let's hit this.
And not for nothing, in case anyone's wondering, I actually hand sew these shirts.
Mark M, you were the winner of a shirt as well. So if you both could just email me, clay@dynastytradesin5.com. I will I'll send you the info. You can pick out something. We'll get it over to you. I like giving away merch. It's good stuff too. It's good stuff. Yeah. Okay, guys, are we done? Yeah, I like how I thought you were gonna keep our team overlay on there.
No, just a misclick. I got the DIDIT one up here.
Yeah,
look, man, we're gonna leave early tonight. It's gonna be a short show tonight.
This is weird though.
23 minutes.
This is weird getting off before 10. I don't know. I mean, we can do it.
We're getting more efficient.
Right. Listen, we pumped through the super chats. We pumped through a lot of the comments that talked about relevant players. Let everybody have a couple minutes back. I will say If you want extra content, there's going to be more of a ramp up of content. Can I plug the Dynasty Portfolio Weekly that I started on Destination Devy? If anybody has to check that out, Dynasty Portfolio Weekly, the second one, I believe Jay Rich says he's going to drop it tomorrow morning. So it's just me, a solo show talking about portfolio moves. It's 10 to 15 minutes, so we're not talking about a really long video. And it's literally, if you want to hear what I am doing first and foremost on my own teams, check it out. Even if you don't have a ton of teams, I think some of the logic, the design of the show is some of the logic and thinking behind like what's in my dynasty brain can help everybody, even if you only have a couple teams. It's the line of thinking that as long as you start thinking as to why maybe that makes sense to do, even if I only have a couple rosters, makes you a better player. So check that out. It's on the DD podcast feed or on the DD YouTube feed. Should drop tomorrow morning on the channel.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Kanja, I'll just throw this up again. He says, roster reviews, please. Kanja does, he's one of our peer-to-peer reviewers who's awesome and a good guy. And Ty Declare does them as well. Also a good guy, super sharp. So yeah, that's one of the options, a peer-to-peer roster review. Then you can do the one with Shane and Scott or the Heisman, like we did with Uncle Rico the other night. But yeah, again, just email roster review at dynastytradesand5.com. 25% off promo video coming out tomorrow. All right.
And Mannequin Chill tomorrow at 8:30, and then Clay's stream following that. So be tapped into the channel tomorrow night at 8:30 till yours is probably going to go till what, 10-ish?
Yeah, good call shouting that out because they're doing a live Mannequin Chill 8:30 to 9, and then 9:30 is what it's set for, but 9:15 to 9:30 I'm doing like a Dynasty Creator, like just content creation talk. Me and Alan Sislowski from Sirius and RotoWire. Yeah, we're just going to talk content creation. We're both passionate about it. Getting under the hood look at some of our analytics as well, and I'll just talk about what I've learned over the process and learn from him because he's a stud, man. It should be a great show. He's fantastic. So
are you going to try to find ways to get him to host little parts of the show too? Because other than Clay, Alan and Clay are the two best show hosts out there. So it'd be interesting to have you both on a show where one of you is hosting and the other one is just answering questions. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, he's awesome. It'll be a good show. So stick around if you like content creation. You're curious about how this channel has grown to the size it is right now, the 11,000 awesome people. All right, y'all. I am going to end this stream. Take it easy.